Let's talk about NLA.
Quite a significant development. And I will appreciate if I can get some time down in a week, because we've done quite some good stuff, and our licensing, our registration period for next year, we've moved it from 1.5 million that people were entitled to pay down to 500,000.
Okay, and so that's positive.
2024, that's positive, and loads of other things that we want to bring on board. But I will appreciate that. I don't color the NLA this evening.
That's fine. I'm going to move, but I'll just take one thing from NLA, which is too short, too direct.
Please. And the day I get to know the numbers, that means my position has become untenable, and I'll willingly resign.
So let's talk about number 2 on the ballot of the upcoming election for Saturday.
True.
First of all, why did you decide that Bawumia is a person you would want to work with and work for and see holding your flag after Nana Akufo-Addo?
Once again, good evening to your cherished listeners. The NPP is confronted with a huge challenge in 2024. The party will be seeking to do something that has not been done before, but not something that is impossible. And once you're seeking to do something you haven't done before, that means you have to be innovative. For you to be transformative, you have to be innovative. And you have to also break new barriers, new grounds. In 2024, the NPP will be up against another formidable opponent from the NDC side. And then somebody who has also been MP, has been deputy minister, he's been minister, he's been vice president, he's been president. That's President Mahama. Then you have Dr. Bawumia as well, also coming in as a 4 times running mate of Nana Akufo-Addo and the NPP, and twice or a 2-term vice president. And I will be happy to see Dr. Bawumia emerge as winner on Saturday, because he presents the NPP with multiple opportunities. And as we seek to also break the 8, politics is about strategy. Politics is a numbers game. If you look at the NDC currently, they are eating deep into our turf, to our home grounds, and that has to do with even our Ashanti region. They had over 600,000 plus votes. And these are new areas that they are trying to also garner some support and vote to augment their 3 major strongholds. That is the Zongos, that is the North, and that is the Volta. As I sit here, I'm a politician of reality. There's no mathematical gymnastics that can convince me that the NPP can win Volta region in 2024. No.
It doesn't look certain.
No.
It's not even a dream.
We will work to improve upon our fortunes there. As I'm saying, I'm being a realist here. You work to improve upon your fortunes, win some votes there. But the 2 other strongholds of the NDC, that is the North and the Zongos, then becomes a battleground when you have a candidate like Dr. Bawumia. If you take the North...
So you are reducing the stronghold of the NDC?
You will have to...
Or you are neutralizing it?
You are reducing and neutralizing. And when you even can, you will also have to overtake them. The NDC had a World Bank in the old northern region. In the old northern region had Northeast and Savannah as part of the old northern region. They had a total of 31 constituencies. Out of the 31 constituencies, the NDC had 27, which was a World Bank arrangement.
Left with 4 for you?
4. NPP only had 4. When Mahmoud Bawumia became our running mate, he worked hard to improve upon our fortune. In 2020, we reduced the NDC's World Bank into a microfinance, more or less bringing them from 27 supermajority to 15. And the NPP moved from 4 to 16. This was not achieved by,
And this for the 3 regions, Savannah, Northeast, and Northern.
And then again, if you also look at the contribution of the Northern Bloc and the vote to our party's fortune in 2020, if Dr. Bawumia and the team had not worked a lot up there, the NPP would have been a minority in parliament. Politics, you consolidate your gains and improve upon your fortunes in other areas. That is the electoral side. Then one thing that attracted me to Dr. Bawumia and to help him, for him to also achieve his dreams, aspirations, and goals, I asked him some critical questions when he had a chat with me that he wanted to run for the high office. I asked him, what are the 2 things that inspires him to run for this office? There should be an inspiration behind it. There should be a spirit behind the decision. He said, look, Sammy, we've done so well as a party and government within the last few years we've been in government. We need to consolidate our gains and improve upon it. Two things that I want to look at is how to create more opportunities for the young people of our country. And secondly, also make sure that the NPP is solid on the ground and becomes a party of choice, capable of winning an election any day. And also improve upon the economic situation. Umaru, the sincerity in his eyes and the passion to deliver. Every president comes to the table with his own set of vision. And I find it interesting when people say, oh, Akufo-Addo's third term will be Bawumia. I don't think Akufo-Addo has served his 2 terms. Bawumia won't be an extension of President Akufo-Addo. He will be he will work to improve upon what his boss might have left him and the Ghanaian people with. And I'm saying this because every leader comes to the table with his own set of ideas and vision. If you're a vice president and a running mate, you are there to also help the man achieve his vision. If you take Professor Mills and President Rawlings, people said, oh, Professor Mills was going to be a continuation of Rawlings.
A poodle.
A poodle. In fact, well, people even named him as a poodle.
Some people from your side, continue.
When Mills became president, Mills had his own set of ideas, his vision, and he championed that, be it foreign policy and be it local policy. I foresee Dr. Bawumia helping us to deepen whatever we believe in as a party, expanding the frontiers of our democracy and reach when it comes to our electoral fortune. Again, improving upon the economic situation of our country. I liken the NDC and the NPP situation to a contractor who built for you, and after plastering and having the building put up, properly so-called, one day there was just drizzling, not torrential rain, drizzling, and the building comes down. You cannot compare that contractor to somebody who built for you. Drizzling, the building did not come down. Raining, the building did not. But when there was an earthquake, that moved almost all the buildings in the enclave. That building contractor cannot be faulted not to be a good contractor. So if you look at the NPP's performance from 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, these were the high points of our government. And this government faced its own biggest tragedy with the senseless war in the eastern part of Europe and that of COVID that nobody ever anticipated. People think that it's been overflogged, the issue of COVID and all. Look, across the world, people still feel the pinch at the pump. So for you to heap it on the head of one man, for me, I find it very interesting.
Okay.
But the first quarter of this year, the NDC elected their leader and the leader of opposition, if I'm right. I haven't heard any major policy alternative from the NDC when it comes to solving even the problems that confronts us today as a nation.
Actually, I remember John Mahama doing something one evening where he did an address from the UPSA. That's something we can check online. But I want us to deal with Bawumia.
But Omaru, yes. We will come to that. Do you remember 3 or 4 policy alternatives that he proffered?
If you want me to list them for you, I can. But I'm not supposed to be doing that.
But we are all supposed to
you are the campaign manager.
Well,
I'm sure you have analyzed John Mahama.
We have. And in fact, we've analyzed the NDC's manifesto for 2012.
Yes.
And about 80% of the things that they even listed, they never implemented it when they won in 2012. But we'll come to that post November.
I'm just interested in the history of vice presidents taking over from their bosses. It's a rare thing. We're only seeing that in Kenya, but even Ruto is not going on the party. He had to break away and do something very crazy to be able to become president in Kenya. Mills didn't succeed, at least in the Ghana term. And even in 2008, Kufuor was not handing over to his vice president, but the person he chose, again, that's the issue of the breaking the aid, but specifically on vice presidents. Is it that easy? And why are you thinking that it's going to be easy? Because the sins of Akufo-Addo will be visited on him. The sins of Akufo-Addo being the poor performance of government now, or the challenges that this government has faced and is facing, where people are jackpying like nobody's business. You cannot say that Dr. Bawumia's name would not be mentioned whenever people mention
the government was not made up of one person.
But it was formed by one person.
It was formed by one person. And Article 58, 59 also details out of our Constitution, details out those who act on behalf of the president in various capacity. One thing that I love about Dr. Bawumia is he acknowledges that there are challenges. But he also acknowledges the fact that we can solve these challenges. He stood by his boss through thick and thin, and that of the party. His loyalty to the NPP is unbridled. And again, he's of the opinion that where we made significant gains, we improve upon it. Where we face challenges, we look out for it and make sure that we do not fall into this temptation. I do not know of the sense, but of Akufo-Addo. But what I do know of, I'm guessing that you mean is that the challenges, the successes, the plus and minus of the NPP administration.
The sins being mostly being the negatives, yes.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
The fight against corruption, these are, which has been described by someone who is in the corruption space, Ibwedi of CDD, saying that President Akufo-Addo's fight against corruption has been abysmal.
I think the fight against corruption is not one man.
I know, but
it's a collective.
But because we run an executive government, yes. you blame the president. Because you blame John Mahama, you called him incompetent, even when the power was out. He wasn't working. I also think
that the attitude of the people to come to play.
Okay.
If somebody is somewhere in Yape Kusogo or somewhere around Baldia, and the person, let's say a police officer, I'm using that as an example, stops a motor rider and extort from the person. The president seated at the Jubilee House may not know what has happened there that day. So the attitude of our people too must also help.
No, but I'm just saying that when the light,
but I think that the fight against corruption,
you said the backstop of the president.
But the president's fight against, you can fight corruption with institutional framework and the institutions of state that you have anti-graft and anti-corruption agencies. If you look at the allocation to these anti-graft bodies, anti-corruption bodies, significantly high. Again, in terms of personnel, in terms of retooling. So yes, on his part, he has laid down the policy framework. He says he's resourced them to also work. It's also up to the individuals who are there to make sure that.
So the vice president is not by law, but it's become a precedent where the vice president chairs the economic management team.
Yeah.
So you notice that the blame of the accusations, not accusations, but attacks on the economy are mostly directed at him. Again, because he was the one who was frontal in the attack against John Mahama. He has said so many things when he was opposition running mate. Now he's vice president. We have seen what the CD has become. We have seen what the fuel prices have become. You cannot really, again, blame Akufo-Addo. People don't even want to blame Akufo-Addo. They want to blame his vice president. And I don't know if that's a positive or a negative.
Well, first of all,
how would you deal with that?
Okay, Umaro, so when you say we've seen what the CD had become, you also did not say that we saw how the CD also gained significant strength from 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020.
And collapsed, and now
but that's what I'm saying, that whatever happened post-2020 has been the world's biggest tragedy, not just a Ghanaian tragedy. Inflation was at an all-time high, 40 years in UK. Over 30-something years in the US. Several countries ran to the IMF. Not over 100 countries had run to the IMF. So it's not a Ghanaian situation. Again, when these challenges come, what is the response of government? And I'll give you what the NPP and that of President Akufo-Addo's government also did to cushion the people. During those difficult moments, this government was ready to break the vote at the bank to protect its citizens. We had to make a choice between the economy and that of the human lives. Trump made a choice. He chose the economy over human lives, and in excess of 1 million Americans died. Several countries that made a choice of economy over human lives suffered the consequences of it. I take you to Spain and Italy. It was clear from the narrative of their prime ministers that at a point they said they had given up because the doctors had to choose between people who would die and those who would live. But in Ghana, that wasn't the situation. The government was willing to spend whatever we had in our kitty to cushion the poor, the vulnerable, and make sure we still provided for our essential needs. Whilst the educational system was brought to its knees and closed, we were still paying workers who were sitting at home.
Okay.
So all these things were done to also cushion the Ghanaian people. Of course, post that, there's now a rebound. We are gradually recovering from our economic situation. And even if you look at the IMF's report and their latest one, they are shocked about Ghana's economic recovery. And they believe that it's been faster than what they predicted. Again, let me take you back to those who claim that what had become of the CD and all that. Last year, somewhere around November, just exactly around this period, you saw the worsening situation of the CD. Almost every day, Citi FM was giving the new CD dollar figure. For 8 months now, we've stabilized from the 17 cities that it was a year ago to around 11 cities or so, and it's stable. So you have businesses able to plan. I am not saying that Ghana has become the New York, or Ghana has become Ghana is in its better shape, but we definitely we are moving out of the problems that we faced last year with this gold for oil. When Vice President Bawumia brought this idea, people poo-pooed it. They thought that it was a joke of the century, but he made some significant input and said, look, if you look at Russia, in spite of the economic attacks, embargoes, and all that placed on them by the West, because their currency was backed by gold, they were able to withstand the pressures that that came with these embargoes and economic sanctions. Today, if you look at our fuel prices, it's dropped. More or less as compared to a year ago. I'm a chief executive of an institution. Exactly a year ago, I was for my same staff strength, which we subsidize with fuel. I was paying almost 800,000 cedis a month. But now it's down to around 500,000. So I've seen some reduction in terms of...
I want to move from the economy, but your friend Sam George sends a message. I just want to read
greetings to him. This is not his election. so tell Sam George I won't respond to him. This is not his election.
But it's the election of the NDC.
No. It's not his election. You told me that I'm not here to talk about John Mohammed's comparison. So it will be an accident in history for me to respond to Sam George on this matter.
Okay, it's not a question. It's an information.
Well, he said I won't take Bible lessons from a beer bar when it comes to us and the NDC. No, us and the NDC. He's my brother.
The fact that you supervise his slapping in Ayawa, so doesn't mean you come and attack his person on my show. Okay.
I reject it.
Let me read it anyway.
No, but I'm saying that.
But why are you
allowing you to read some George's
so you bully me?
No, because you told me when I was going into the...
Fine. I'm not reading it to you.
You told me that you are not here to discuss
for you.
You're reading it for who?
Yeah, I'm reading it for my listeners.
Okay, so I'm not supposed to answer.
Don't answer.
I can plead the fifth.
Yes, plead the fifth.
That's fine.
He said, I will check. Please correct my friend, Sammy Awuku, that the Citi did not gain strength in 2017, 2018, 2019, as he claimed. At no time in the last 7 years has the Citi been lower than the 4 cedis to the dollar that John Mahama left behind. Again, remind him that the stability of the dollar is artificial because since November last year, we have not serviced any foreign loan. I have moved on from this. We are done. Don't comment.
Since I'm not to comment, I won't comment.
Let me move you to this one.
We'll have a better debate between us and the NDC when we are done with our primary.
So, if you and I
but let me express my deepest condolences to Sam George, the MP for Ningo Pram Pram, and the good people of Ningo Pram Pram on the passing away of the late Honorable E.T. Mensah, the very man that Sam George orchestrated his removal from Parliament.
Sammy?
Yes, sir.
He has also not responded to this, so let's proceed.
Thank you.
My concern, you just thrown me off here.
I haven't thrown you off.
If we were having this chat when you were organizer or youth organizer, I'm sure Kennedy Paul would have been the last person you would think of as a flag bearer, hopeful, or even a flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. And we were even speaking last year, I'm sure you would have not thought of Kennedy Paul as someone you should worry about. But now he's there, and he says he will show you showdown or give you a showdown. How are you going to maneuver and get out of the hurdle that is Kennedy Japan on Saturday as a campaign team?
We do not underestimate the strength of any of our opponents. The Honorable Kennedy Japan, the Honorable Dr. Efri Akoto, and the Honorable Francis Adainimo, our formidable opponents of Dr. Bawumia. We treat all of them with respect. We do not underrate. We do not underestimate the strength of any of them. We give them that respect that they deserve. These are stalwarts of our party. And not because there's a contest, we're going to run them down. Because after Saturday, we believe that we will emerge victorious on that day. And after that day, we definitely have to get the unity that we desire to move this party into 2024. So, yes, I won't single out Honorable Kennedy Japan, but I would say that we treat all the aspirants with that same respect.
It's like a two-horse race. You have to respond to...
Well,
he has said so many things against your candidate.
Yes.
Do you plan to respond to them
as
campaign manager?
There are some that, these are clear... these are statements that cannot be supported with any evidence. For instance, if you say that somebody offered you $800 million to become a running mate, then the person might as well, if he had that money, use it to push his agenda. And again, when you become running mate, so what money are you people going to use to run the campaign? So
it doesn't sound logical for you.
It doesn't. From where we sit. Again, none of the aspirants, I can tell you, can pay that 5,000 cedis that Honorable Kennedy Japan in his camp also alleged that people were planning to pay. If you, by simple calculation, if you take your phone and multiply 5,000 cities by 204,000 delegates. 5,000 cities by 204,000 delegates. 204,000 delegates. The figure it gives you, I'm not sure you can even mention.
I can't. It's this one called OPPP.
It's almost in billions.
But you're vice president. Maybe
where are you going to get that? Then that means you should be a candidate for jail. Because where is the person going to get it from? And that the last one that me myself I was accused of sharing pickups on behalf of the vice president. I gave it to my boys. No. So these issues do come up. But honestly speaking, it is very normal two-way campaigns. Internal campaigns are intense. Internal campaigns can be very acrimonious. We don't want it like that, but it
has become that. If your candidate wins, can he have united NPP to lead?
I think Dr. Bawumia has demonstrated a large capacity to stomach everybody in his belly. And I say this without any shred of doubt that he should be able to do that. If you take someone like the Honorable Frederick Oparians, he was a campaign kingpin of the Honorable Alan Martin for several years. If you take the Honorable Kofi James, he was Alan's campaign manager at a point in time. If you take Dr. Marcus Ibeyeboy, if you take Dr. Brie,
they are all your team now.
They are all in our team now helping. And again, he welcomes everybody, regardless of wherever he comes from. So Bawumia's campaign team is like a United Nations, where everybody is in there playing different roles, and we see all of us as family.
On Saturday,
so reaching out to our colleagues to come on board shouldn't be a problem.
On Saturday around this time, we should be seeing a picture or the full results. Do you have a percentage you are working with that you anticipate to win by?
Well, every campaign goes into an election with a percentage. With all the polls, all the analysis that we have done, we're praying that the NPP delegates favors us with no less than 75%, even though the polls puts us to almost 80%. We believe that we worked so hard. We deserve their support and their mandate. And Dr. Bawumia, if he's favored by the party and there is delegates, and just before you conclude, he'll become the first non-account candidate of the NPP and of Northern Extraction.
So you are breaking the account.
Well, the Democratic Party in the U.S. had to make a sacrifice like that in 2008 when they pushed a young senator from Illinois, Barack Obama. When Obama became their candidate, the black population, voter population of America were around 17.5%. Out of the 17.5%, 35% of them were in jail, the blacks, serving jail terms for various offenses. But still, the American people chose hope over fear. They pushed this young man who captured the imagination of the world and white America. The Democrats backed him to become president of the free world. The biggest beneficiary of that sacrifice of the Democratic Party was President Joe Biden, when he recorded over 90% of the black vote in the year 2020. A time comes when sacrifices must be borne in the supreme interest of our party and our country. And I believe that Dr. Bawumia has what it takes to move the NPP, to break the 8, and for us to also be a party that will form a government in 2025.
Campaign manager for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's campaign, Sammy Awuku, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Maru.
And we wish you all the best.
Thank you, and we hope to see you on Saturday during the declaration.
I'll be at the stadium.
Thank you.
I'll be at the stadium. I'll be watching your face and your reaction. I'll be seeing the results on your face. If you smile, if you smile, then I know things are looking good.
We pray that it will be a vote of destiny, and a vote where definitely the party people will make a choice. And it's that decision that will, Saturday's vote will either break the 8 or the 8 will break us.
What that means is that if your candidate doesn't win, you cannot break the 8.
All those contesting, all the 4 gentlemen who are on the ballot are worthy candidates, and candidates that can give the NDC a run for their money. But the one who will make the work easier for us to break the 8 is Dr. Bawumia. I wish the rest of the aspirants the best of luck, but I wish my candidate success on Saturday.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Sammy Awuku. He's Director General NLE by